Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States, and welcome to VEDA Day 7. Looks like we're going to make it through the first full week of vlog every day in April. And it's another gray, rainy, miserable day here in the greater Washington, D.C. area. So, sorry about the lighting. That's just the way real life is here. Now, I had some questions from some of our recent vlogs. I did a piece yesterday about... Please don't hit me. I did a piece yesterday about Cuban coffee, the kind of coffee that I really like. I didn't make an issue of the fact that Cuban coffee isn't grown in Cuba. It's a style of preparation. It's a very dark roast coffee. Then it's made with a lot of sugar in a traditional Cuban style. I don't add sugar to mine, but anyway, it's not grown in Cuba. It's a style of preparation. So anyway, I had some questions about food and drink that I thought I would try to address while I'm pissing away my life on the road trying to get to work. And one of them comes from my friend Eusebio 1957. Ittori asked me how much water I drink in the course of the day. And it's a good question. I do drink a fair amount of water. I don't know exactly how much, because I don't measure it when I have a glass full, but I certainly do know about how many bottles I drink. And I drink about 4 pints of water a day. Because I don't, in the last year and a half or so, I actually don't drink coffee at work. I drink water. So I usually keep a bottle of water. Sorry about the stammering, but it's it's really gray. It's wet, and it's just, I'm trying to concentrate on my driving. Anyway, I keep a bottle of water on my desk most of the time, and I go through about 4 of those a day. It's not bottled water, so I'm not contributing to the water bottle problem. It's actually water from the cooler that I just refill. So, yeah, so about 4 pints in the course of my time at work, and then whatever I drink at home, which is probably another, glass or 2. So thanks, Satori. I appreciate the question. It was a good question. I guess it's one of those things I don't really think that much about. Right, next question I had was from Superman 21986. And he was wondering about if there was any particular foods that I really liked but wasn't able to eat, or anything that I would like to eat but really hated. So, I don't know. I've noticed in recent years that certain things do tend to upset my stomach a little more than they used to. When I eat bacon, for example, which I don't very often, but when I do, it tends to give me some acid stomach. So I go kind of easy on the bacon these days. I suppose that's probably because of the fat content, so things with a lot of fat I have to be careful with, just because it will upset my stomach, and, well, it's probably not the healthiest thing in the world for me. In terms of things that I would like to be able to eat, but I really hate, I don't know. I don't know why I would. The only thing that sprang to mind is a Southeast Asian fruit called durian, and I really, really hate durian. And most people do. I mean, it's one of those things you either love or you hate. You have to experience it. I can't tell you what it's like. I wish I could eat it, I wish I was one of those few people that really loved it, but it doesn't appeal to me. So that's my higher order volition, is that I wish I could eat durian, but I can't stand the stuff. So that's pretty much it for the questions I've had thus far today. And tonight we are going to Baltimore, and it is my intent to take you along for the ride, going up to see my son and my grandchildren, and they've invited us up. We're going to go up and spend the evening. Don't know if there'll be any footage from their house or not, but that's where we're going. I'm going to go up to the south part of Baltimore and visit family up there, so that ought to be kind of fun. Doing a daily vlog has turned out to be a very enlightening experience. I actually, when I started this, I anticipated losing subscribers because I thought that people would like figure their inbox, their subscriber box was getting slammed full of new videos, and they were like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't want to see this much come into my inbox. But as it turned out, I was dead wrong. Casey Neistat was right, that you show up for work every day, and that is how you build a subscribership. And I'm really pleased. I'm glad everybody's enjoying this. I'm glad that people want to see this, but I'm surprised. I thought it was too much of me. So let's try not to die on the way to work. That's always a goal of mine. I try not to die on the way to work. I think goals are important, and I think that's a good one. What do you want to accomplish today? I'd like to not die, because there are some bat crap crazy wackadoodles out here on the road, I want to tell you. And they get just frantic. God, I gotta get to work. Must not spend time on the road. It's like they really begrudge themselves the commute. Leave 10 minutes earlier, dude. Oh, then I'd have to give up 10 minutes of my own time. Well, yeah, but, maybe you wouldn't die on the road if you weren't in such a freaking hurry. So I have this massively boring meeting to go to today. It's going to be about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, where people just drone on about stuff that there's really nothing, you could do about it. But we're going to meet about it. We meet about it every 2 weeks, whether we like it or not, for a status update. And you sit in this little conference room with a bunch of people who don't want to be there either, and discuss stuff that pretty much everybody should know anyway. And in the course of that, you get kind of beat up by different departments who don't feel that you're doing what you should be doing. And it doesn't matter how hard you work, how much you accomplish, it's never enough. It's never right, or it's never enough, or it's never fast enough. Gets a little old, but it's the cost of doing business. We do this every 2 weeks. Well, I survived the day at work and the meeting from hell. And now we're on our way to Baltimore. Go visit the kids and the grandkids. And it is still raining and gray. Traffic's not too terribly bad at the moment. Of course, that can change in a heartbeat. We're up on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway headed towards Baltimore, so we'll see. Sometimes it goes along well, and sometimes it'll just come to a screeching halt for no apparent reason. When the Baltimore-Washington Parkway isn't slam full of traffic, it's actually a pretty pleasant drive. It's all wooded on both sides and in the median. It's a parkway. It's very pretty. When Bev and I first moved to this area, I think we both thought that from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore was a long way away. And not being from this part of the country, it just seemed like Baltimore was like, way up in the other corner of the state, which sort of kind of it is, but not really. It's actually only about a half hour away, depending on traffic. So it's a lot closer than we thought it was.
Well, one of the things I researched today was I went out and I researched to find out if the Kwanzaa and cherry blossoms are out, and they're not out yet. They're starting to bud. But since it's become so cold, the blossoms of that particular type of tree have slowed down and they're just starting to bud. They say there's one tree that's starting to come out, but most of them have not come out yet. So there's still time to see that particular type of cherry blossom.
Do we know where the trees of that species are?
Yeah, a lot of them are in Haynes Point, along the side of Haynes Point by the airport.
Okay, all right.
And then there's one tree by George Mason, somewhere by the sidewalk, they said.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some by the FDR Memorial.
Okay.
I don't know where. I'm going to have to get my cherry blossom map out.
Kwanzaa or Kwanzan or... Kwanzan. Kwanzan.
Kwanzan, I think.
Well, there'll be another species of cherry to go see for the Cherry Blossom Festival that's still going on, even though the Yoshino cherries, which are the main cherries in the Blossom Festival, have pretty well lost their blooms. The Kwanzans will be blooming, so that's cool. Maybe we can take in some of that. Bev can never get enough cherry blossoms.
No, maybe we can still have our picnic underneath the cherry trees yet.
Oh, whatever bloody stops raining.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow on Saturday.
Yeah, that could slow down the blossoms a bit.
I'm not real happy about that.
No, I'm not either.
Neither's the weatherman. He was very unhappy today.
I don't think at this point in the year anybody's happy about more snow. Well, I realize you probably can't see this because we don't have much light and the angle of the camera is kind of funky. But we are about to cross, just getting onto right now, the Francis Scott Key Memorial Bridge on the south end of Baltimore. And Francis Scott Key, for those of you who don't know this, maybe because you're overseas, the fellow who wrote the poem, The Star-Spangled Banner, which would become our national anthem. So this bridge is his memorial. Holy shit in a bucket. Toll, this is a big bridge.
It is.
I always forget how big this bridge is.
Yeah, it always amazes me when you come up on it, how tall it is. It's very, very tall.
Well, I'll bring you all back here on a day when there's sunlight and I'll point the camera in the other direction. But that's a big damn bridge. Very high, scary bridge. Yeah, if you have any sensitivity to heights, this is not the place to be because we got to be, you say, 300 feet above the water?
Yeah.
About 30 stories at the crest of the bridge here. And this is one of those bridges, of course, that when the winds get high, they close it because you are way up here in the air without really much protection. I'll have to check what the elevation of this bridge is, but it certainly looks to be 30 stories above the water surface. Crossing in the rain doesn't make it any more fun, I can tell you that. Hello.
How are you?
Not too bad. I survived the bridge, so I'm doing good.
You afraid of that little bridge?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, what about the Bay Bridge? You ever been over that?
Yeah, I've been over that.
No, that's the one.
This is, I don't know, this one bothers me.
How tall is this one, do you know?
Thank you very much. See, to the locals, that bridge don't mean nothing.